This weird skill made $103,000 in just 21 days. And what's even more wild, all of that income came from sending one email.
Oh, I enrolled 39 people with one email, like literally one email.
But before I get into exactly how Nikki did this and how you can apply the strategy for yourself, we've put together a free ebook with the 10 steps to turn your knowledge or skill set into a full-time income. Comment "Give me the guide" and we'll share the link with you below. Having helped thousands of people in over 47 different countries and over 600 different niches, I've identified exactly what it takes to monetize any skill, regardless of your starting point, whether you have an audience or none at all. So if you feel like you're on a never-ending hamster wheel doing all of the things to grow your following but don't have any income to match, or you're caught in the trading time for money trap and it's making you miserable, or maybe you're craving a clear game plan to monetize your knowledge or skill set, no matter what it is, then you're in the right place. So meet Nikki. Nikki is a former attorney who was trapped in the success trap. She went to school, got a good job, and was trapped in a never-ending cycle of burnout because of the long hours and a version of success that had her working 13-hour days, sacrificing her health, her relationships, and her overall peace. But in 2019, she started to explore other options, and she discovered she had a skill for animal communication. Yes, you heard that right. Yes, talking to animals. She had even achieved some impressive press opportunities, but her income wasn't growing along with it, proving that having an audience doesn't equal having a business.
A large audience or an audience on social media are like window shoppers. It's people just like walking by the store, oh, I like that, but they don't really want it. They're just like, oh, that's pretty, that's nice, like that's cool, but they have no desire to actually go in and buy something.
So let's walk through how Nikki made some crucial shifts, stopped focusing on growing her audience, and ended up generating $103,000 in just 21 days. And most importantly, how you can apply this method for yourself. And it's important to note, a following is not required. You don't need a big following to make this work, and it actually works even better if you don't have a following right now. I'll explain more about that a little bit later. You just need the right strategy. So let's dig into it. So as you just heard Nikki say, she put in the work to grow her audience, but here's the catch. They weren't buying anything. Why? Because most of them weren't the right clients for what she offered. This is called followers without focus. She'd been attracting people interested in what she shared, but not people ready to invest in what she could teach. It's a mistake that I see all the time, and it leads to what I call the trap of social media success. So if you look at something like followers without focus in this concept, it means that you're getting likes, you're getting engagement, you might even be getting an audience growth, but you're not seeing any return at all. And if you are, it's requiring more and more content creation from you, which just puts you on this never-ending hamster wheel. So the trap ultimately looks like this. So you are in this cycle of you're creating content and you're looking at this through the lens of, okay, the goal is to get likes and comments, and that's fine, but you can't take that to the bank. So you're starting to get maybe a little bit of engagement. Great. Or maybe you're not getting any engagement at all, which again, just puts you on this treadmill or hamster wheel of chasing. You're chasing the algorithm, you're chasing that engagement, but you don't really have a ton of control over it. And also you don't even know if you're making the right content that's gonna land with the right people and who those right people are. So then you just ultimately create more content, which takes even more time, which leads you to a cycle of burnout, of constant content creation, constantly chasing after engagement, which you cannot take to the bank, which puts you on a constant chase to appease the algorithm, which means you're even creating more content and wasting more of your time without any return. I'm sure you might be able to relate to this. So what's the cure for this? First, we need to understand why starting without a following is a big win. And even if you have a following, how we can course correct. So broad content equals a broke audience generally, and a broad audience who's not interested in buying. Precise content equals profit. So symptoms of a big broad audience of window shoppers would include having high engagement but no intent to buy, or followers getting angry with you the minute you ask for anything in return for the countless hours you were spending creating content for them. So if you're experiencing something similar to this, spending hours on social media, giving away your knowledge but not seeing any results, then yeah, you're likely attracting the wrong audience or a broad audience for what you can offer. And it's the perfect time to course correct. And there is a very specific method to doing exactly that. And that's what I want to show you. So what it looks like, and I'm going to break it down. I'm going to do that in just a second. But before I get into it, if you have knowledge or a skill set that you want to monetize, like I said, I put together a free ebook with the 10 steps to turn your skill set, no matter what it is, into a full-time income. Comment, give me the guide below, and I will share the link with you. So how do you take this information and own the algorithm instead of having the algorithm own you? So that's what we're really going to get to the root of here. And we call this the flywheel to algorithm domination. So ultimately it means that we need to know who is the ideal client. Who is the person who's going to be most invested, not just interested, not just looky-looing, not just window shopping. Who is the most invested person who would be there to actually take action on the information you're sharing and the hard work you're putting in? So it starts there. From that, we need to create relevant content for that person, because that is going to get them to engage in a very serious way. From there, the algorithm actually knows what to do with your account and content. So I call it algorithm categorization. And from there, every single social media platform has internal traffic sources because they want to keep people on the platform. They want people to consume your content. But when you don't feed the algorithm with super relevant content or focused content, it doesn't know what to do with you. And that's why you don't get any engagement. So they want to work for you. You just have to teach them to work for you. So that's where the internal traffic sources on each platform come in really handy, because once it starts to categorize your content, it then uses those internal traffic sources to send more of your ideal client who doesn't know you yet to your content without you having to do more work. The algorithm then just starts to work for you in this really beautiful way. And then you can actually monetize and build your audience at the same time, which is really the secret to success, to not burning out and not getting overwhelmed with content creation. So let's dig into what I actually mean by monetizing and building at the same time. So I've worked with a lot of people who have knowledge, skill sets, expertise, but no audience. And I've seen them grow their business from zero all the way up to 6 and 7 figures from scratch. And this is why, this is the secret sauce here. There is a massive difference between window shoppers and buyers. I really should say versus buyers. So knowing how to build an audience of buyers from day one relies on what we call the 3 factors of your ideal client. We need to know who is your specific ideal client, what is their specific tipping point where they are most ready to invest in help, and what is the outcome that they are craving from you. So we call this identifying your 0 to hero journey, taking them from where they are now that they do not want to be and where they ultimately want to go. So in Nikki's case, she realized that while her audience enjoyed her content, engaged with her content, her ideal clients were serious animal lovers, wanting to become professional animal communicators. So this realization was the key to moving her content from broad appeal to niche focus on her ideal client. And it was also easy for her to teach and get her clients results because it was the exact path she had followed for herself. So Nikki went from window shoppers of animal lovers and fans of her work, so we'll say animal lovers in general, and fans, to actual buyers, people who had a serious passion for animals and wanted to turn it into a full-time income. Massive difference between those two things.
So it's like the more specific and targeted you get, you're going to get more serious people. You're going to get people that actually want it. And then you're going to have better client results.
So how did Nikki, get to a place where she was able to replace her salary as an attorney? Well, the journey wasn't exactly pretty or smooth, and there is a lot to learn from it, so pay close attention. So first and foremost, Nikki started in what we call the time trap. So Nikki initially used a business model of one-on-one work. So she was doing one-to-one sessions, animal communication sessions and introductory workshops, but soon hit a natural ceiling. So she had limited hours. She found herself running through her list of interested people quickly, and that left her struggling to bring in new clients and maintain consistent income. So we call this the time trap because there are only 24 hours in the day. So you inherently are limited. You're capped in terms of the amount of clients you can work with and ultimately impact. The next step for Nikki was she was like, well, that doesn't work. So I'm going to move into what we call a membership model. So moving into a membership model was all about looking for something that was a little more scalable, that freed up her time, but it brought its own challenges. So despite having around 80 to 100 members, only a handful would show up for live sessions each week and keeping those members engaged meant constantly creating new content. So the setup became exhausting and still didn't give her clients the step-by-step transformative experience that they needed to actually grow.
I had to keep reinventing the wheel to keep people wanting to pay every month and to stay.
So finally, Nikki found us, started working with us in our Authority Accelerator program, and implemented what we call the New Way business model. So neither of these worked for her. One limited her with time and one limited her with also time and the amount of content that she had to create consistently to keep up and keep members engaged. So the New Way business model is what we call coaching at scale. And this was what cracked the code for her. So the new way of sharing her knowledge allowed her to break free from the time for money trap, creating a successful business and a life really on her own terms. So she was able to combine what we call the 3 C's that make this really tick and grow without your constant involvement. So it is curriculum is number 1. So it's a curriculum that folks can study on their own time and takes them from their 0 to hero state. And then there's coaching, but the coaching is done at scale. So it's group sessions that creates this incredible accountability inside of the program where everybody can kind of learn from one another, create community with one another, and root each other on, which makes a massive difference instead of people sort of working on their own in silos. And that brings me to the final piece of this, which is the most crucial part, which is that community. So through coaching, through expert guidance from you, and through this network of people that are helping them through challenges and supporting them, it creates this really powerful environment for fast learning and results. Totally an accelerated learning environment, which gives you more time freedom, but it maximizes the amount of impact that your clients get without having to rely on you. Because yes, you want to free up your time, but also your clients don't want to have to wait around to show up for your one-to-one session. They don't want to have to book into your busy schedule and try and find a time that works. They want results. So this allows you to accelerate the results without trading your time for money or them having to rely on your time. So how do you create an actual curriculum that works? Because many people try and create an online course business, but it doesn't thrive because they miss the core aspects of doing this properly. So the center of this business model is the ideal client, because without clarity on who you're serving, you can't build an effective curriculum for them to follow. So again, people pay for transformation and efficiency. They do not pay for information that they can get for free on the internet. So Nikki's case, she knew that the 0 state of her ideal client was animal lovers who wanted to escape their 9-to-5 that is draining their energy and leaves them unfulfilled and dissatisfied. And the hero state is becoming full-time professional animal communicators who can telepathically communicate with animals so that they can become their own boss and set themselves free by giving a voice to the animal kingdom. Beautiful, right? So when we know the 0 state and the hero state of your ideal client, well, then it becomes pretty easy to build a really effective curriculum based on your experience. You just then bridge the gap. We go, okay, well, we know this is the outcome, so let's reverse engineer all the steps that have to happen to get here from here. And that becomes your highly effective curriculum. And by defining that so clearly and having this really effective curriculum to follow, her clients are getting incredible results like these, with her clients telling her this is life-changing for them and their fur families, and sharing how much they love the class and how unbelievable it is to see how far they've come. So the impact is real when you have the right structure for your clients to follow. So obviously Nikki was able to reach that $100,000 in 21 days because she focused on the right people. But even if you're starting from scratch, like I said, that's a good thing. It's not a problem. So you can still create content for your ideal clients and start building a list even with that small audience. So most people choose, like I said earlier, to either build an audience and then monetize, or create a product and then build an audience. We say don't do either of those and do both at once. So audience, monetization, that's really the key to scale, doing it at one time. So Nikki was clear on the transformation like we just talked about she wanted to offer, which made creating a curriculum outline easy for her to put together, but she wasn't going to actually create the program until she validated it by pre-selling it and testing the prototype version, which we call, and I'm sure you might have heard of this if you've seen my content before, we call it a POP. So this is the profitable offer prototype. It allows you to sell and validate and prove your offer without having built the entire program. But as long as you have that clear curriculum outline, you can build it as you actually generate those clients and get them in the door, as you have paying clients to give you that social proof and validate and give you feedback. So you're able to do both at once and you're not sitting there wondering if anyone's gonna buy your program as you're building it. So it becomes really clear how to pre-sell when you know the value of that outcome that you're providing. So from there, the only thing to do is to then connect with the right ideal clients and the right potential clients. So if you don't have an audience, this is the path that you wanna follow. So let's say you have a warm network. This is not people online, so you have to think bigger than that. And then from there, you ask those folks for referrals to a cold audience. So it could be family, friends, it could be people in your industry, it could be people in your network, and then those people refer you to cold leads. So that grows your audience to people who don't actually know you. And then from there, once you sort of build a little base, then you wanna actually start sharing your expertise as an authority. So you'd create magnetic messaging is what we call it. And that allows you to then put yourself in front of those folks and say, hey, I'm really good at what I do and I know a lot about this. And that makes this entire audience that you're building really interested in actually becoming buyers of your program. So even if you're starting from scratch, this is the path that you do want to follow. So the moral of the story is you don't want to wait for an audience. You want to find your audience and be proactive about it. So there's other options like outreach, doing, things like cold and warm outreach, and starting with something as simple as a message like, do you happen to know anyone struggling with X? So that allows you to reach those people proactively and not sort of wait for people to engage with your posts, wait for social media to work for you, because that's a waiting game that you're not going to want to play. This allows you to put yourself in front, be proactive, and actually get your business off the ground, while also attracting the right people all simultaneously. Relationships lead to revenue. So start building relationships, focus on generating one lead every single day, whether that's offline or online. That is a very doable goal. And by the end of a month, you'd have 30 potential leads for your online program. So in this case, it could be things like social media accounts, forums, offline animal conventions, the list goes on. There's so many available opportunities. So your ideal clients are out there and you need to find them, not wait for them to find you. If I can harp on that again, that's really what I need you to know. And most importantly, when you do start connecting with ideal clients, you want to drive them back to your email list. This is the most valuable asset in your online business. So in Nikki's case, she followed the approach that we recommend, which is listening and researching your ideal client first before offering them anything, so that you can then create the best possible program that they will absolutely want to invest in. So first, Nikki set up interviews, just interviews with folks she connected with to ask them what they most wanted to learn about animal communication and what they would love to see in an online program. And after that first set of doing 50 interviews, she then sent an email to that small list of people that she connected with, either on an interview or who had just expressed interest in learning from her. And of that 174 people on that list, she then had 39 people enroll into her program. Okay, so I just need to break that down. That is a list of 174 people, 39 enrollments, and that generated $103,000 in 21 days. When you see the numbers written out, it's kind of crazy that it takes such a small audience. Regardless of her having this massive audience on social media, this was all it took for her to finally actually monetize her skill set and her expertise. And just to show you this in actuality, this was the email that she sent out. Subject line was thinking about you. It said, hey, whatever their name may be. I know it's been a little while since we last spoke. Thanks again for that. But I just wanted to reach out because I've decided that I really want to support people in creating a thriving animal communication business. And I'm actually working on something special based on everything you and I spoke about. I'd love to fill you in on everything. Are you available to reconnect on another call? If so, you can view my availability here and schedule a time to connect. And if none of these times work, please reply with 2 to 3 preferred dates and times, including your time zone, and I will do my best to make it happen. Looking forward to speaking again soon. And that is it. That is the simplicity of that one email that generated $103,000 in 21 days. So Nikki's success wasn't about luck. It was about having a simple plan of connection, relationship building, research, and a message that resonated and was relevant with exactly who she wanted to reach, and ultimately, again, who needed her the most. So a proven offer really is the path to scale. It is not about fancy tech or funnels or all these things that people think they need. At the root of it is relationships and relevancy. So from there, having that proven offer with the right clients who are doing the work and getting results, the path to scaling really does become crystal clear. Once you run the prototype version of your program to your first clients, you then take their feedback and package it into your evergreen curriculum, and you're ready to attract new potential clients through marketing on autopilot. And the best way to do that is to leverage the power of organic traffic on a platform like YouTube. By using the world's second largest search engine in a strategic way, you've now completed the loop. So you now have a proven curriculum, a defined ideal audience, and the perfect platform to attract that audience. So with over $100,000 in the bank before even packaging her program, Nikki is in an incredible position to scale, and she has completely escaped the trading time for money trap.
Just the main difference is our confidence in myself, my business, feeling freedom, and just knowing that like I'm really doing this, and it's just the very beginning.
And her journey truly shows what's possible when you focus on the right clients and create an offer that solves a very specific problem. So if you are ready to actually do this for yourself and build a business around your skill, again, no matter what it is, I put together a free ebook with the 10 steps to turn your skill set into a full-time income. Comment below with "Give me the guide," and I'll share the link with you. And if you want to see how this all comes together, check out this video next on the step-by-step process of how to build $1 million course.